Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Mornings with Loretta. And what a show I have for you today. So I learned a lot. I'm so glad I get the opportunity to have Dr. Lamb and Imani on the show. So hidradenitis suppurativa is a painful skin disease that impacts millions of Americans, but it is often overlooked and underdiagnosed, with patients waiting an average of 10 long years for a proper diagnosis and facing multiple misdiagnosis. The urgent need for awareness and understanding is quite clear. So joining us today is renowned dermatologist, Dr. Angela Lamb. She will share critical insights into HS and how those affected can ease the symptoms and start to regain control of their lives. She's being joined by the phenomenal, I've watched her TikTok. She is so amazing and such inspiration. She's an advocate and a social media influencer, Imani. Imani was diagnosed at the age of 15 years old. So I can't wait to share this conversation. Hey, ladies.
Hi, how are you?
So Dr. Lamb, can you tell us what is HS and how does it affect people living with it?
HS, or hidradenitis suppurativa, is an autoimmune, chronic, recurring, painful condition that impacts my patients. They come in frustrated, in pain, because they're suffering with these draining cysts, nodules in their underarms, their groin, their backside, their chest often, and they're just frustrated and they're seeking help and answers. And to your point earlier, Loretta, you had mentioned that one of the key driving factors that makes them so frustrated is the delay in diagnosis. It's often 7 to 10 years before patients are diagnosed. And imagine, struggling with this and being told it's something else or hygiene you need to wash, when in fact, this entire time you had hidradenitis suppurativa.
And, I want to tell you this show is so important to me for so many reasons. I recently found out that one of my dear friends has been diagnosed with HS, has been living with HS. And then looking back, I have a cousin who used to have boils under her arms all the time and behind her ear, her head. And people just thought, just bursted or busted or whatever and put peroxide on it. And to know that that is something, she wasn't just not being clean, as you said. So I want to know, Imani, with knowing all that you know now, can you tell us about your experience with HS and how you're managing the condition and how you took something so private and so difficult for us to even hear, let's alone have to live with, and made it public?
Yeah, nice meeting you. I'm so glad to be here with you and Dr. Lamb and so many others. I've been living with HS for about 10 plus years, and I noticed boil-like symptoms at the age of 11. And when I got to 15, that's when I was diagnosed with HS. Me and my mother, we thought it was just me not cleaning properly. So it got to a point of where I was just trying to scrub a little bit harder and try to be more clean. But my doctor was like, no, girl, it's not that. It's just a condition that you have. And now knowing the name of it and just knowing more knowledge behind it, I'm just like, okay, I got this. So it's really amazing to know that I'm able to go on this journey with so many people, like medical providers, my family, and the HS community too. And just learning more about my condition, I learned about medications, and I'm currently on a biologic now that's helping me manage my HS.
I told you I watched a lot of your videos actually, and I've shared it. And a lot of people are saying, wow, I didn't know it was a medical condition. They really thought it was normal to have. Some people were just, destined to have boils. And for people who don't understand what a boil is, I'm hoping Dr. Lamb will tell us. So Dr. Lamb, I also want to ask you, in addition to that question, what are some ways to manage HS, and what are some resources you recommend to support those living with HS?
No, I think that's wonderful that you shared, Imani, because some of the resources are online, national organizations, nonprofits, and I'm excited to partner today with UCB. And to your point, just a boil is going to be a very painful bump, quote unquote, underneath the skin that tends to, when you press on it, be soft and drains often on its own. So imagine, like you said, normalizing that when people are getting that over and over again. And that's why these types of programs are so important, and just availing people of everything that's out there. Imani, as she mentioned, is on a biologic, and Bimzelx, which is one such option that I talk to my patients about. And this is a FDA approved as of last year treatment for moderate to severe HS. What makes it unique is that it has a novel approach. It targets not one, but two of the proteins that are responsible for that pathway in HS that creates those boils, as you mentioned. And again, not every treatment is for everyone. And so you want to talk to your physician, talk through options with them, pros and cons, because as with any medication, there's potential side effects, including headache or upper respiratory infection. But these are things that are available to patients now. And I think that's one of the most important aspects of the education piece, is letting them know that they have options and they don't just have to live with those boils, as you said, Loretta.
Well, we can have this show all day long. I promise you. I have so many questions. I have so many questions. So Imani, let me ask you. So what advice do you have for others that are living with HS? And I also saw where you have a job and you were able to share that information and they were able to be, concerned and compassionate for you. And I just don't see, and I'm just glad that happened for you, but how can you help other people with the same, dealing with HS?
Yeah, advice I have is definitely advocating for yourself and knowing that your voice has power. There is so much power in community. There's so much power in the organizations and just support. Like, it's so amazing to know that there is so many people that are rooting for you and that you are not the only one with HS, that there are so many people out there who will understand and will be there to support you. So knowing that there's the medical providers, organizations, medical providers like Dr. Lamb and just so many other people, it's amazing to know that it's changing and your HS journey matters and you matter. So definitely advocating for yourself and throughout this journey.
Okay, I have another question for Dr. Lamb, but Imani, have you since met other people? Have they, I have this too. I'm so glad, that I'm not the only one. And how do you help them to, I don't know if everybody wants to go public because it's really, to me, nobody's business, but if you can help somebody, let's do that. So what do you have people come to you and say, I'm so glad I thought it was just me. Now I can go and get a proper diagnosis. Have you experienced that yet?
Yeah, definitely. When I found out that there were so many people with it, they were like, I have it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. But, again, reaching out to the dermatologist, taking those first steps allowed me to learn more about like the biologic that I'm on and meet new people and really spread more out into my HS journey. But there's a lot of people that are just like, oh my goodness, I have this too. So it's amazing because it's very uplifting and it really brings more power and voices to HS. So it's amazing.
It really is. I know for one, I'm inspired by you. I'm informed, and now I can help share this with other people to help. I won't say necessarily, well, you could potentially save somebody's life anytime you can share this kind of information. So Dr. Lamb, what final takeaways do you have for people living with HS, and not only with people living with it, but, somebody's loved one, like a mom that's dealing with it, and somebody wants to know, is it hereditary?
I think the first thing is to really turn to those resources. They are available. There are, again, some foundations that really their whole aim is to educate people. So that, I think, is important. Also finding a good supportive healthcare team. I can't emphasize this enough, to partner with you, educate you, and also to be hopeful and encourage. This is an exciting time, as I mentioned. And if folks want to get more information, they can go to bimzelx.com. Thank you.
All right. So one of the audience wants to know, is it hereditary?
We do think that there is a hereditary component. And often that's, like you said, when there's a mom, what will happen is somebody says, oh, my grandmother, my grandfather, we're like once there, now that we're in kind of a new age, new frontier of HS, that we even have a name for it. We can name it, call it. People will start thinking back or start talking to other family members and realize that they too have it.
Great, thank you. Is there a cause, or is there, and if you could be like 50 and never have been diagnosed with it, does that mean you don't have it, or is something that lives in our body and something reacts to it to make it come out? How do we know if we have it or not, or should Should you get checked if you're having a lot of skincare problems?
You should definitely check in with a good dermatologist, because they'll be able to diagnose you and determine if you are a new diagnosis. You definitely can get present as your first time in your 50s, to your point, or if you maybe on history have had it for years and years and are just now maybe flaring or are just seeking medical attention.
All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully we can do this again, because I have a ton more questions, but I know you have to go. Imani, thank you for being so brave. And thank you all so much for watching. They have to go. As you can imagine, they're doing a lot of other shows. So let me tell you about Dr. Lamb. She is a renowned, let me take this off because they've left. She is a renowned dermatologist with expertise in HS, eczema, acne, hair loss, and skin cancer detection, as well as cosmetic treatments. She is passionate about partnering with all her patients to develop personalized treatment plans, believing that education is the key to healthy skin. And so when you visit Dr. Lamb, she treats your time together as a privilege and Imani. As I mentioned before, she was diagnosed when she was 15. She is a 27-year-old from New Haven, Connecticut, who was diagnosed with HS at the age of 15. She faced persistent challenges with painful symptoms such as boils and drainage in the groin area and her armpits, which disrupted her sleep and daily activities. Since starting treatment with Blenlex in January 2025, she has effectively managed her symptoms. I just wanted to share this with you all because I know without a doubt there are other people out there who are living with this and they don't know that there's medicine for it, or that you don't have to be live with the discomfort of HS. There are dermatologists who specialize in this. So please, 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 if you or someone you know is dealing with a lot of boils or skin bumps and things that, just don't look or feel right, please get it. Please, please, please seek medical professional help. All right, everybody, this concludes this part of Mornings with Loretta. I'm so glad that we have the time together. And I want to say, think positive, dream big dreams, help someone along the way, and live like you believe, everybody. Bye for